Hey y'all, hey. Y'all, these spiritual awakening and emotional trauma healing situations are not for the weak. I'm telling you. For the past 2 nights, for the past 2 nights, I have been woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning after having some type of dream that dealt with some type of like emotional trauma or some type of something where I needed to heal emotionally in order for me to unblock whatever it is that's blocking me from success. Does that make sense, y'all? So like things that have come up in the past 2 nights regarding my emotions that are blocking me from success are daddy issues, mommy issues, and then both of those things funnel down into the choices that I've made when it's come to relationships, whether if it was like relationships that I have with female friends, male friends, or romantic relationships. It's been crazy. Healing from emotional trauma is not for the weak. However, I recommend it to everybody because I feel free. I feel healthier. Okay, do y'all remember? This is how I feel, how my heart feels, right? I think it's a Givenchy cologne commercial where there's a statue of a man. Thank you, Chupacabra, Reina. I think it is, a Givenchy cologne commercial where there's a statue of this man. I think it's like the thinking man. Anyways, in the commercial, the statue breaks apart and this like human man comes out and he's walking around. And that's how my heart feels. It feels like it was literally like covered in cement. And now that I'm going through this healing, it's starting to like break and crack open, and my heart is really able to expand and like a better the only way that I can describe it is like my heart is finally breathing. It has finally like taken a breath. Good morning, mama. It's finally taken a breath and is like living. I know that might sound weird because your heart is alive, right? Your heart is what's keeping you alive. But it's like my heart is just feeling free, you know? Excuse me. I'm getting over the flu. If you guys have been here for a while, you know that I haven't been on for like, it's been like 4 or 5 days, but I've had the flu. And I don't like to come on live when I'm sick because my energy just isn't right? And I need a rest. I need to take care of myself. Anyways, Jasmina, thank you so much for following me. So, where was I? So I just feel open. I feel free. And I want you guys to know that when it comes to like, for me, healing emotionally from from just things that happened from my parents. I want you guys to know that by no means am I blaming them, right? Because through this emotional healing, I have on several occasions had to flip my perspective and look at things from who they are as individuals, like beyond the fact of them being my parents, right? Like they are individual people on this journey, on their own journey, right? And they're trying to figure it all out too. So I have to look at it and take into consideration that they can only do what they know, right? So at some point in time, I feel like my mom didn't tell me certain things growing up. So from a different perspective, I have to think, well, maybe her mother didn't tell her either. And so my grandmother's mother maybe didn't tell her. So then now my great-grandmother, her mother didn't tell her. So now my great-great-grandmother didn't tell her. You understand what I'm saying? Yep, exactly. One of my biggest life lessons was that mom wasn't mom. She's Jennifer. Absolutely, right? Your parents are complete individuals. You are of them, but that you're still like separate entities, okay? And they could only do the best that they can do. They can only give what they knew to give, or what they knew to share. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's really just a matter of, let me share this, what led to this. So I listened to different frequencies at night, depending on like what I'm trying to do. And I follow a YouTube channel called The Power of You. You guys can check that out on your own. And they had posted a new frequency music. It's about 10 to 11 hours long. And they said that it was for like healing. Okay? And you know, I have the flu, so I'm like, I'm going to listen to this music. It's going to help me heal. I'll get rid of the flu. It did that. But it also started healing my mind and my heart and allowing me to have different perspectives on things and seeing things outside of myself, right? Not from like a selfish perspective. Excuse me. So that was the first night. So mind you, 2 o'clock in the morning, from 2 o'clock in the morning to 5:55 a.m. What's today? So today's Thursday. So this would have been Tuesday night into Wednesday. I'm just up crying, literally contemplating every experience that I could remember. Everything that my mom had ever told me. Everything that my dad, everything that my mom told me or didn't tell me, or taught me and didn't teach me, and vice versa. Same thing with my father, right? For more with him, my biological dad, he wasn't in the picture. He and my mom got divorced. He then remarried, had another family, and sometimes the first child sometimes will get lost in the mix. So I didn't really have a relationship with him. I don't have a relationship with him, really, period. Like, I don't know that man, right? I know that we have very similar traits as far as our introvertedness and being quiet and things like that. But I don't know him. I don't know what makes him tick, per se. So a lot of my life lessons, I didn't necessarily have advice. Now, I did have a stepfather. Thank you very much, God, for sending him. But you know, it's different, right? It's different when the people who create you are a part of your life. Because not only is there that emotional attachment, there's that genetic attachment. And then things are a little bit, in my opinion, things may be just a little bit clearer. You'll understand I'm this way because of the DNA. And it's through the family line. So then it makes sense. There's a reason for it. Nonetheless, thank you, God, for sending me my stepfather. And he did his job, right? But there are still things that I had to learn on my own because no one was telling me the truth. Does that make sense? Like speaking like mom to mom, right? I'm gonna like woman to woman. There's just certain things that I believe excuse me. There are certain things that I believe that women need to teach their daughters, right? Specifically when it comes to dating, sharing your body with another person, and how it can affect you emotionally and spiritually and physically, right? Because you can get certain things, contract diseases, contract demons, right? Sexually transmitted demons, which, by the way, side note, if you are a parent and you want to teach your children about how people will start acting weird when you begin to have relations with them, have them watch Fatal Attraction with Glenn Close and Michael Douglas. That movie is extremely powerful when it shows how when two people who are not supposed to be together, how they their lives can get flipped upside down mentally and physically. But nevertheless, as a mother, there's just certain things that I believe that should be taught. And I understand that my mom came from a generation where their moms didn't necessarily talk to them, and so forth and so on. And this is an important reason why fathers should be in their kids' lives as well, because there's things from a man's perspective that they need to share with their kids about life. You know what I mean? So, I'm going through this emotional healing phase in my life. It's a part of my journey. It's a part of my awakening. And I just wanted to come on here really quick to just share with y'all what was going on. Also, for those of you who are asking questions for readings are $20. So I'm accepting Cash App right now.
Where is that place, Jamhuri? No, Pipeline, not Jamhuri.
What is that?
It's called here in Orlando, Florida.
Can you guys hear me?
Thank you so much for
I
watching.
hear
Thank you
like
for supporting.
somebody else's live is coming through my live. That is so weird.
Send some gift to appreciate. Where is there? Lorena, I'm in Kenya, in
Hold
Africa.
on, coming through my live. That is so weird.
Send some gift to appreciate. Where is there? Lorena, I'm in Kenya, in
Hold
Africa.
on.
150,000 families. There's so many people around here. And my mother is in the village.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna go out and come back in. All right, you guys, I'm back. Can you hear me? Can you see me? All right. Hopefully this is working. That was really, really weird. If you guys sent much better. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. That was really weird. Like all of a sudden I was just hearing like the screen paused, and then I was hearing someone, it sounded like they were like at some type of like football match or something. And they were talking. Anyways, I do apologize for that. I don't know what happened though. So yeah, I'm just going through this period of, not only do I have the flu or had the flu, or I'm getting over the flu, I still have like a weird cough. But I'm going through emotional healing, and I'm going through a spiritual awakening. My spiritual awakening is it's the spiritual awakening and the healing from traumatic emotional things is like one and the same. It's really like me being able to see things from a more grounded place in my life, where not only am I not blaming anyone for anything, but I'm also just like being accountable for myself now. Like where I'm like, okay, well, you know, mom and dad didn't teach me this. When I realized that they hadn't taught me what I needed to know, I then should have taken the initiative and taught myself if I could have, or asked someone else about it. Meanwhile, understanding that they're just doing the best that they could do, right? And me still being able to give them like love, you know, and not look at them from a place of like regret or dishonor because they didn't do what I think that they should have done, right? And now that I'm a parent, I totally see I have more compassion for them. You know, I have to tell my son almost all the time, like, hey, I'm just doing the best that I can. Like, I'm going through this life with you as a 13-year-old for the first time too. So let's kind of work together, right? You talk to me, I'll talk to you, and we'll figure it out as we go along, but let's just stay positive. And that's another thing. When going through healing, staying positive is like one of the biggest things that you can do to just help stay mentally clear and understand. It's totally like when you go through a tower moment, right? Where everything kind of crumbles down to the foundation, right? It's the hardest thing to do. It crumbles down to the foundation so that you can rebuild it. And I know that's exactly what I'm going through right now, because I'm trying to like, yes, I want to be successful in my life, but I just want to be overall like a better person, a better human being, more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding, more just in love with life. My goal this year is to just live, you know, and not be so compartmentalized with how things are supposed to be, you know? Like like life is for living, you know? As long as I continue to do what I'm passionate about, it's going to lead me on the course that's necessary for me to complete my life purpose, right? And as long as I continue to be have positive thoughts, right? Because your thoughts become what you speak about, and then it becomes your actions. And I guess I'm just ultimately tired of like the unnecessary suffering, right? Because again, every choice that we have made, I'll speak singular. Every choice that I have made up until this day has brought me here. And that kind of is a hard pill to swallow. Because it's like, do you mean to tell me that it's like, essentially, it is all my fault? Right? Like, I am in this space, whether negative or positive, because of things that I've done along the way. And so now I'm just like, all right. And I've been working on this for quite some time, but it really is just about surrendering and going with the flow and but relinquishing control over the things that I honestly have no control over, especially when it comes to other people. Now, how other people treat me, I have control over that because I can set boundaries and say, hey, you know, you and I aren't a good match. Let's go ahead and separate ways, go separate ways, because it's just not going to work, right? You're not good for me or I'm not good for you. Like, let's just move on. So I can control that. But how other people react to certain things, how other people drive, how other people do things, how other people, you know what I mean? Like, I can't control how somebody else sins. Just because they sin differently than me doesn't give me any authority over them, and it doesn't make me better than them, and it doesn't make them better than me. And it just means that we're going through this journey, right? We're going through this journey in a way that we're supposed to be going on it, so that we can learn whatever lessons it is that our soul needs to learn, so that we could be better. Whether if we can be better so that when we do cross over, we don't have to come back, or maybe if we come back and we're just overall better people, you know? Either way, I just know that my life goal is to learn the lessons so that when I cross over, I'm prepared to be an ancestor and I'm able to help my family, whether blood related or chosen. I can help them, guide and support them in whatever manner they need me to be, or however they need to use me, right? I just think that and I know that everyone isn't going to go through healing the same way that I do, but I just wanted to share with y'all, you know, my experiences. It's been absolutely I'll be honest, healing, you sound like you have a beautiful soul. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want to like cry. That makes me like, thank you. I just think that as I was saying, I know everyone isn't going to heal the same way, but I just wanted to share my experiences with y'all, just so that you know that you're not the only one that's going through it. Whether if you're going through it now or you go through it later, if you just hear my story, then you know that it's gonna all be okay. Like, everything I know for a fact that I have to go through this now because something great is coming for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know when it's coming, but something great is coming for me, and I have to be emotionally equipped to deal with it, right? So I'm asking for my discernment and wisdom so that I can handle whatever is being brought to me, right? I'm asking for the healing so that wherever I'm blocked in my body, in my soul, in my mind, that's keeping me from receiving whatever I'm supposed to, I can truly be open to receiving it. As I've been going through this, I'm going through it too. Beautiful. See, we can go through it together. I'm noticing that as I'm going through this healing and I'm opening myself to receive, either spiritual gifts or abundance in spiritual understanding, or abundance in joy, passion, whatever it is, I'm noticing that, like, my hands, because I literally will just meditate with my hands open. You can't really see, but it's like basically just holding my hands open, and they'll get warm, on like the palms. So I know that it's working. And I'm so thankful. And this is gonna sound absolutely bizarre, but even though the healing is painful, I am so grateful for it. Because as I go through the moments as I'm healing and I'm, remembering instances in my life, and I'm looking over them and I'm like dissecting them, and I'm like, picking out the parts, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm getting a better understanding of what was happening at that time. And I'm like, God, it really hurts to do this. But as I finish that piece of the lesson, all that pain goes away. It literally, to me, the only way that I can explain it is like, when you're going through childbirth and the labor, and it's so painful and you just feel like you're gonna just literally die, and then that baby pops out and then all the pain goes away and you're like, oh, that's it. That's what it feels like. That's the only thing that I can describe it as, is that there's a lot of pain during the healing, but it subsides and it goes away. It's crazy. Sandra says it's so crazy how God brings people together to receive messages from others to show we are not alone. Absolutely, because we're in alignment. It's the energy of what is it? I know that the energy on the earth is changing. I personally believe that we are, like, the earth is splitting, right? But people are being put in alignment with who they need to be put in alignment with at the right time, right? It's the right people and it's the right time. Always. And I say this all the time. God may not come. Oh, I'm getting emotional. God may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. Like, all the time. It's divine timing. However you guys want to say it. It's the universe. It's God. It's spirit. Whatever. I say God because that's just how I relate to all of this, right? But it's just, understand. What is this? I have the radio on, y'all. It's just a matter of, oh, thank you, God. It's just allowing yourself to go through the process, If you're woken up at the darkest hour, right? 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, don't go back to sleep, right? That, I honestly believe that is when your guides, God, you're being spoken to at that time, right? There's a message that you have to receive. Try not to go back to sleep And even though you may be exhausted and you have a long day ahead of you and you got the kids and something can be said to you that is going to help you with your day or with your life. You know what I mean? And if you just can't do it, I honestly recommend just going to a state of meditation where it's not that you're necessarily asleep, but your body's relaxed. I when I have moments like that, I just lay with put my right hand over my heart, and I'll just lay in the bed and I'll close my eyes and I'll just say, hey, whatever it is that you need me to know, whatever it is that you want to tell me, you know. But I'm just gonna lay here. I'm gonna be still. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be obedient. I'm going to essentially I'm hearing surrender it all, and I'm just going to listen. And I'm telling you, so many messages will just come to you that can bring you peace, that can bring you hope, that can bring you a better understanding, that can ultimately, you will receive the messages that you need to hear, that are going to overall help you, not just with your day, but with your life. You just have to be open to receiving it, and you have to be obedient. Like last night I was up, what was I watching? I'm a big cartoon fan. So I was watching He-Man, again, like the newest version, the second season. I was watching it over again. And at some point I was watching it and I just heard like, go to sleep. It's time for bed. I wasn't tired. You know, I wasn't like yawning or sleeping or rubbing. Like I was just up watching the show and it was like, go to sleep. It's time to go to bed. Didn't want to. But again, I remember I told y'all I am surrendering. So I go to sleep. Fall asleep immediately. Well, at least it felt like immediately, right? Because the next thing I know, it's 2:00 in the morning. And I'm waking up. Actually, it was 1:51 in the morning. I'm going to have to look up that number. If you're seeing angel numbers, or if you're seeing numbers and they kind of like sit with you weird, you guys go to Sacred Scribes angelnumbers.org or something. Just put it in Google and I'm telling you, it'll give you everything you need to know about angel numbers, numerology, all that. But look it up. Anyways, I apologize. I digress. I go to sleep. Immediately, I'm waking up at like 1:51 in the morning after having this dream about my ex-husband and everything that we went through together. And I'm seeing, and in the dream, I'm seeing things from his perspective. And all those, how he grew up and where his narcissism and all this other stuff comes from, like I understood it. But actually seeing it from his perspective, like really, really, well, you know, he's still a jerk face, right? But it gave me a little bit more compassion for him, right? Like his life growing up, I don't know. Okay. It's not my story to tell, but what I will say is, I don't know how he handled all of that. Okay? Because how I'm looking at how my strength works, I don't know. I don't know if I could have dealt with that. You know? So, and I understand better that a lot of the things, not only is he the way he is because of his experiences, but also because like his personal experiences, he was like genetically predisposed to things, and he can only live this life the way that he knows how to. Like this is, again, he is on his own journey, and how he relates to other people is a way for him to protect himself because of things that happened to him in his childhood. I hope that makes sense, right? But still, I have more compassion for him. But I still have my boundaries set. And you know, that doesn't mean that I need to talk to him. That doesn't mean that he needs to be a part of my life. That doesn't mean that we're friends now. It just means that I have more compassion for him. He can stay over there. I'll stay over here, you know, and we'll call it a day. I'll see you in heaven, right? If, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, a lot of it is really just so amazing. It's truly a miracle. It's truly a miracle. I encourage everyone to go through it. But I want to be honest, like I don't know how old y'all are. But I want to be honest, like a mom, like auntie, your best friend, your girlfriend, you know, your cousin, your favorite cousin. Let's do that. I'm your favorite cousin, okay? And I'm just going to be honest with you. It is going to be painful. There's going to be days where you're going through this emotional healing and you may not be able to get out of bed. And not because you're depressed or overwhelmed and anxious. It's just because you're tired. Your body has released so many different energies that you've been holding on to that you just need to rest, you know? So I say all that to say, when you realize, or if you are going through it now, I need to get my oil changed. I'm past the date and the mileage. Sorry, squirrel. When you find yourself going through any type of emotional healing, I encourage you guys. Now, y'all don't have to do it, right? I'm just going to give you the information and you use it or you don't use it, okay? It's up to you. It's your life. You have your own free will. But it's so important that you eat healthy foods, okay? So eat like foods that aren't processed to your best ability, right? Eat your salads, you know, your vegetables, right? Because that's going to give you natural energy. Make sure you stay hydrated, because I'm telling you, if you're like me, then you're a crier. And you're just gonna and it's just gonna all come out. And I'm laughing because it's so funny. Like, I don't think I have cried this much. In this past week, I probably have cried more. The last time that I cried, let me get my thoughts together. The last time I cried this hard was probably in 2001 when my firstborn son died. He was he was a preemie, and he was born in March. He wasn't due until June that year. And he ended up passing away on Mother's Day. Was it Mother's Day that year? Yeah, it was 2001. He passed away. No, it was the day after his Mother's Day. Rest in peace. My grandmother died around Mother's Day too a few years ago. Huh. It's interesting. Sorry, y'all. My son died around Mother's Day. My grandmother died around Mother's Day a few years ago. He was born in June. He was due in June. She was born in June. My son, my son now, he was born the day he was born the day before my grandmother's birthday. Oh my goodness. Okay. My great grandmother, like, they're all in a row. All their birthdays were in a row, like 21, 22, 23, 24. So sorry to hear. Oh, thank you. It was all in God's plan. okay? I do appreciate your condolences, but I just want to share that although losing a child is extremely difficult, it was all in God's plan and it was necessary for me to go through that, because there was a lesson that I needed to learn behind that when it came to people that I chose to, like, who I gave myself to. Okay? I needed to be more particular. Anyways, I haven't cried that hard as, like, this week. I haven't cried that hard since he passed away. And so I feel like it's just a cycle of my life that is necessary in order for me to gain a new perspective on who I am and how I show up in the world and what I offer to people. I know that as far as my life path number is a 7, and I understand, and I've always felt this in my heart, is that I'm supposed to be of service to people. Like, I'm just supposed to show up and be of service. And I know that God is just going to use me. And I know that because I am allowing God to use me to speak to somebody, even if it's 1, 2, 3 people, it doesn't even matter. I'll talk to a rock. But it's necessary, right? Not just for my healing, but so that I can give to the collective what they may need for their own healing as well. My guides are just like, just give your heart, give your heart, give who you are, be unveiled. And that's how I am. Like, I just show up and I'm unveiled, and I just give y'all the information, and you do with it what you will. And you did that for me today. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, and I'm thankful that God was able to use me to help you. I feel I don't feel, I don't know. Here's the thing, right? And I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress always. I always feel weird when people give me compliments or say thank you. I'm going to accept them because that's what you do. I'm not going to make anyone ever feel like, oh, I don't want to compliment her because she doesn't accept them and she feels weird. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, but at the same time, and I want to share with you where I'm coming from. It's like, I'm just doing what God told me to do. Right? Thank God. Give God the credit. Right? Even though God is in me, but God is like coming out full force, right? Like, so thank God. I appreciate it. I'm going to accept your thank you. But don't forget to thank God. Don't forget to give your gratitude to God. Don't forget to show your appreciation to God. Okay? That's the most important. I'm just the vessel. Okay? For all things. And I literally mean all things. Like, let me tell y'all how last night I was looking out the window. I was in the living room. I'm looking out the window and I look at my couch, and my poor little couch, I need a new one. But you know how when you sit on something for so long, yes, I pray and talk to God every day. Beautiful. Me too. High five. Up top. High five to God. And I'm looking at my little couch, and the cushions and pillows are all like out of whack, and I'm just like, but you know what? Thank you, God, for my couch. It may not be from Ashley Furniture. It may not be that leather sofa that I really, really love. But, you know, right now it's not practical for me to purchase it. Oh, the lady's back. The lady that comes to test the water. I'm at the ocean right now. And since that big storm, I come out here every morning. But since we had that big storm, was it last weekend? They've been coming out here like literally every other day and testing the water. Y'all be mindful of that. Keep that in your mind, the water. There's something going on with the water. One of the creators on here, I think her name is Ethereal Sid. She was talking about that as well. There's something going on with the water. Anyhow, let me get back. Where are you from? I am from California, like originally. Right now I live in the Gulf Coast though. So I'm in the South. Why am I here? For peace. Peace. Peace and understanding. After my grandmother died, I literally know for a fact she guided me to move out here. She lived out here for years. You know what's weird is that when I moved out here, like sight unseen, and then my mom came to visit me and she's like, oh, you live right down the street from where your grandmother lived, like when she was 18. And I'm like, what? Yeah. We drove down to the house and I'm like, it's literally in walking distance. The hotel that she worked at is right around the corner. I'm like, okay, grandma, you did the thing, right? I am from Chicago. Ooh, I know it's cold out there. I've seen the videos where the people's inside of their doors and things are freezing. I don't know. But you know what? I lived in Cleveland, Ohio for 11 years. I don't even know how I did that, but I lived there for 11 years. I can kind of suspect probably how cold it gets because you're getting all of that weather from, you know, Canada, right? So I can understand, but never again. My son wants to move back and I'm like, you can move back when you're older, but I'm not getting snowed in the house no more. The reason I even moved away from Ohio was because one day I was taking him to school and we got like stuck in a ditch. Like there was so much snow, so much ice. And mind you, this is like the 11th year that I've lived there. Never had any issues. But that year I was taking him to school, little daycare, and we got stuck in the snow. Thank God we just, you know, it happened like as soon as I turned the corner from our street. So we were able to walk home, call the tow truck, all of that other stuff. However, I was like, never again. Never again. I refuse to live in snow. The only way that I would live in snow is if I never had to leave out during like when there was a snowstorm, or like take my kids to school or anything. Like somebody just did that for me. But then would I want them to leave the house? Because it's snowing outside. What if they get stuck in the snow too? Anyways, I say all that to say, God bless you. Stay warm, right? But yeah. Healing from emotional trauma can be brutal, but it's absolutely worth it. How you are and how you feel when you come out from the other side is like, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like that. It's that moment when, and Sandra, you might understand this, when the springtime comes and the snow starts to melt and the sun is out and it's just warm enough and you like take that first like deep breath of the air and it just fills you up and you're just like, this is beautiful. Like that's what it feels like. It's like you can finally breathe. You can finally just live authentically and be unveiled and just enjoy your life, and you're not like pinned down by your memories, your thoughts, your yes, I feel like I'm finally alive. Yeah, that's how it feels. Like, it finally feels like, oh wow, this is what it's like to actually feel the earth. You know, it finally, it's like a burden is lifted off your shoulders. You feel lighter, you feel happier, healthier, and understandably there might be a lot more work that needs to be done, but you're on track, right? And all you can do is just keep moving forward. That's all you have to do, is just keep moving forward. Go day by day. Oh, these glasses are dirty. Like, for the first time in my life. Yeah. I think this is an eyeglass wipe. Need to put some more in this pad. Yep. But it's just, you just go day by day. Day by day by day by day. That's all you can do, you know? Well, that's a pretty car. There's something about these Infinity SUVs that I just love. I love them. This is kind of dried out. Someone just pulled up in an all-white one. I love them. Those have been my favorite SUVs since I've seen them. Still have a lot to work on, but feeling more that God is with me. Absolutely. Once you just open up your heart and just know, and you know what what has been working for me is that I have just been completely honest with God. Like, during my prayer sessions and my conversations with God, and I'm just like, hey man, hey. Right, you are my father, you are my mother, right? But I need some serious nepotism to happen. Like, I understand that I need this healing to happen so that I can remove these blockages so that I can be successful. But at the same time, I need some nepotism. Okay? Help me out. Not only do I want to heal, but just help me out. Because right now, like, what I'm going through is, like, financially, right? It's hard. It is hard out here in these streets. I'm doing the best that I can. I have been blessed. I have truly, truly been blessed. I'm so thankful for a family that have been able to help out where they can. And when they bless me, I ask God to bless them tenfold, but still, I'm being taken care of, right? I'm walking in my purpose. Now, this is something you have to have, these conversations with God, right? And let God know. It's like let's make a deal. Like, God, I know I need to heal. I know my heart needs to change. I know I need to open up my heart. I know I need to be kinder, nicer, whatever it is that you know that you need for yourself mentally and emotionally, right? Just let God know, like, I'm opening myself up for you to take control and for me to surrender so that you can guide me the way that I need to go. But as we're going through all this, and as I face these challenges, please take care of me, right? Please continue to provide for me, And now there's some people that say when you go to God in prayer, don't beg and all that. And I totally get that. God just wants you to come to him like, that God is your parent, right? Just talk to him regular. Talk in your big girl voice. Put your big girl panties on and just have the conversation. But there are times where I'm just like, God, I'm not necessarily begging you, but I don't know what to do. I am struggling. I am desperate. I am beside myself and not knowing what steps I need to take next. Can you please literally take the wheel? Can you take the reins of this horse and help me out? Send me some nepotism. Send me something. And it comes. It comes. It can come that minute. It'll come later on in the week. But it comes. I don't believe for 1 second that God would allow things to happen that we cannot personally handle. Things happen for a better cause, right? So it's kind of like people who may have had really, really okay, say you're a man and your dad wasn't in your life, right? And then you have a child. Now, your dad being in your life was the lesson that you needed to learn so that when you have your child, you could be the parent that you always needed. Does that make sense? Things happen because they're supposed to happen for the improvement of your soul. And even though you are like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. Or I don't like that. I don't like going through challenges just for my soul. Well, baby, before you came on this earth, you agreed to it. You may not remember. You may have forgotten, but that's what happens. Let me turn this heat on. Oh, she needs her brakes checked. I catch myself begging at times. Yeah. And that's the thing, though. There's been times, let me tell you, there have been times where I have begged God. There was a years where I suffered from major depression. Major. It was so bad. I wouldn't get out of bed. I was just so distraught and downtrodden, and I remember that day that it all went away. My son, I had called my aunt. I said, please, come and get him. I haven't been able to sleep well. I just need to rest. Okay. And it was January. It was January 2013, 2014. And seasonal depression, all of that. I had it. No vitamin D, no sun, living in Cleveland, Ohio, right? But I had been suffering with it for years, since I was 16. And there was absolutely no medication that would help. And so she came and she got him, and I just I went upstairs, and I remember being in the bed, and it was dark. It was the daytime, but it was dark because of the overcast. And I just remember screaming. I was yelling I was in the bed and I was screaming, God, I can't do this anymore. I can't take care of myself. I'm not able to take care of my child. I am suffering. My work is suffering. My house is suffering. We are suffering. God, take this away. These are happy tears because I know how good God is, and I know God will. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask for God's help, and God will help you. And I know this for a fact. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe, what you don't believe. You ask God for help, and God will help you. Okay? So in that moment, I just cried. I cried my heart out. I cried. I was sitting there in the bed, just, please, God, take this away. I cannot do it anymore. I'm not eating right. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. You bless me with this baby. You bless me with this baby, and I'm in a state of mind where I'm not taking care of him. Mental health is so real, y'all. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. It is important. It is important to take care of your mental health. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Whether if you're on medication or not, whatever you need to do is what you need to do. And calling on God is what I needed. And I called on God, and I cried and I cried and I cried myself to sleep. I wasn't asleep that long, maybe a few hours. And I woke up, and I woke up to this bright sunbeam coming through my window, waking me up. And it was like, okay, let me put it into context. I personally believe that mental health issues are caused by negative spirits, entities, demons that will oppress you, and they will cause certain things. I believe that full-heartedly. If you don't, that's fine. But I'm telling you my story, okay? And it was as if when I woke up and that light was shining on me, it was as if like a legion had been removed from my home. My home felt lighter. I felt lighter. It felt very, very peaceful. And I will tell you, since then, I have never felt that way before in my life. Have I had, bouts with depression? Yes, I had postpartum depression with my second child. So they did prescribe some things, but it didn't help. And I know that I was going through all that because of who I was married to. He was very emotionally abusive, right? I talked about him earlier. So I know that was a part of it, right? All through the pregnancy and then thereafter. So I went through that, but it wasn't like that depression that I had from being 16 to 31, 32, maybe. That's a long time. That's a long time. And I know for a fact that God healed me. I know that God did. I know that God heard my cry, right? And allowed me to live a life where I wasn't burdened with that mental state of just sadness, constant sadness for absolutely no reason, because my life was pretty good. You know, I had a house. Well, I was renting a house, a really cute 3-bedroom home. It was me and my son. You know, I was living close to my family. You know, like every Sunday we had family dinner with my grandparents. Like, I had a good life. But because of this oppression over me, I couldn't see it. I couldn't recognize it. I couldn't enjoy it. So, anyways, healing from emotional trauma. You guys, I encourage you to allow it to happen. I encourage you to stay grounded and meditate while you go through it. I mean, you need to stay grounded and meditate all the time, right? Because this earth is wild, right? Earth is wild, and being secure to the planet is extremely helpful. All right. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go. I need to go to the grocery store. I want to just say thank you to those of you who showed up today. Thank you for the conversation, Miss Sandra. Thank you guys for listening. I hope whatever I've shared with you guys today, my story or my insights, my wisdom, whatever, however you take it, you know, I hope that you're able to use it in a positive way. You know, I hope that it has been helpful. Thank you. You're a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you so much. You as well. So you guys, yeah, I'm going to head on out. I need to go get groceries. We ran out of milk this morning. And I want some pie. I want to get a pie, an apple pie. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me share. Like I said, I hope what I've provided today, you guys can use it. If you don't use it, that's okay too. Maybe you don't need it right now. Hold on to it. Keep it in your pocket. You can use it later, okay? All right. I'll talk to you guys later. And I love you. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye.